Welcome, Yogi, to this Yin yoga session to increase leg flexibility. You don't need any props for this session, but if you have a couple of yoga blocks, they may be useful. And if you like to elevate your hips in seated poses or have a blanket under your knees in kneeling poses, grab a blanket or a pillow. We're going to begin straight away in child's pose. And today's holds are going to be about 4 minutes in the main poses. But we'll begin for a couple of minutes in our child's pose. So separate your knees. Bring your big toes to touch. Take a deep breath in. And while you exhale, walk your hands forwards and out. And you can cushion your knees on your blanket in this pose if you wish. You could put your blanket behind your heels, between your heels and your bum. If your head doesn't touch the floor comfortably, support it on a block. And just soften here into child's pose. Start to regulate your breathing. Slow, steady breaths in and out through your nose. Relax your hip flexors and through your low back. Direct your breath as low as you can. And encourage it to be slow on your exhales. Just arriving and feeling ready for your practice. The intention in your Yin practice to just go to a moderate degree of stretch in each pose and to let the time do the work for you. You can start to rise up out of child's pose. Bring your knees in underneath your hips. And a reminder that in this next posture, we'll be kneeling. If you'd like your blanket to cushion your knees, just slide them under that. Slide it under there. Bring your right foot forwards to the front, right side of your mat. And we're coming into a dragon pose or lizard pose. You can support yourself on your hands. And we'll be in this pose for about 4 minutes, so a little longer than sometimes we do. So I encourage you to start at that 40% where you first start to feel sensation. And I'll let you know when we're about halfway through in case you feel like you'd like to go a little bit deeper. You do have the option, if it feels good, to drop down onto your forearms or perhaps forearms on a block. Or your blocks are a nice stopping point for you. Just sipping the breath slowly in and out through your nose, sinking down through your hips. Remember, you're not chasing any extreme depth. The time is what's helping the flexibility and what's helping you to release. We're approaching a halfway point, and so just assess how you feel. Do you need to dial out of the pose a little bit? Has the intensity increased while you've been here? Is the height that you're at just right? Or would you like to soften down a little deeper? And that could be a change in the height of the blocks, or popping your forearms onto the floor. Make sure that you're not bringing tension into your face or holding onto the hands too tight. Your breath is your guide. It's smooth and steady. An indicator that you're just right. If it starts to be held or stutter and stop, you might be erring a little bit too deep. You can start to rise up out of your lizard pose, climb yourself up gradually. Just take your time to slide the hips back and the right foot back. You can move around a little bit. Place your hands flat onto the floor and either take the hips side to side or perhaps a couple of rounds of cats and cows, looking forwards when you breathe in, scooping the tail down, rounding when you breathe out. Again, 2 more of those if you're joining me, but feel free to be circling the hips or stretching intuitively. Exhale and round. Just 1 more, please. And we come to a more neutral spine. Left foot to the front, left side of your mat, coming into our dragon pose, our lizard pose. And you can start off braced on your hands again. And let's see how this side feels. No assumption that the sides are equal. So just see what you encounter here. Would you like to stay braced on the hands? Does it feel appropriate to drop your forearms to your blocks? Maybe you go straight to the floor if you have that comfortable level of flexibility. But really be mindful of the key to yin, which is moderation. Just 40% of your capacity, your ability in a stretch, as we are here for a full 4 minutes. Keep the back of the neck long, feeling. Take any tension out of your face and see if you can encourage your eyes to be still. And as we approach the halfway point, you can decide, would backing out a little bit help you to maintain that moderate expression as the intensity increased? Do you feel perfect just as you are? Or would you like to creep in a little bit deeper? If you do, you can go there cautiously. Make sure you're not pushing too far. When you arrive, do that check-in again. Notice places that may be holding and gripping that maybe don't need to be working that hard. Especially mindful of the hands, the forehead, and the jaw. Just finding a sweet stillness in the pose, but for the movement of your breath. You can start to ease your way out of your pose, climbing up to the hands if you're on your forearms, lifting your hips back, and sliding your left foot back. And again, just make some easy, intuitive movement as you feel the sensations of release from that pose. You can move your blocks off your mat if you were using them, and switch your position to sitting down, please. I'm going to sit and face you, but you can face up and down your mat. And we're going to set the feet together as if you were going to do a butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. We're going to stretch the right foot off at an angle so it's in a straddle position, and keep this left foot right here in the middle for right now. Point through the left toes and sit up tall, and lean out over your left foot. So we're splitting this pose into halves, into two halves. So we're focusing firstly on the inner thighs. Now if you're quite high, you can use your hands to support you. If you have folded quite deeply here, you have the option to rest your head on your block. But the same things apply as in our lizard pose, just finding just the right amount of stretch. Not too much, not too little. It's like your sternum wants to reach past your left toes. can start to rise up and out, enough to reposition your left foot on the inside of your right leg. You might have to adjust your blanket position if you're sitting on your blanket, just perched on the edge of it. Breathe in and fold now directly over your right hamstring. So you are switching the position of stretch from your inner thighs to the hamstring and calf. Soften tension from your face. Only leaning forwards to the degree where you feel moderate stretch. And while we can have a little more softness in the spine in yin, because we're not aiming for depth, we're not in a very, very deep expression, we still want to avoid overly rounding, especially through the middle and upper back. You can start to rise up out of this gradually. Slide that left foot back across and your right foot to the center. And you'll take your left foot out at the angle. So a half butterfly, half straddle. Adjust your seat position so that the blanket helps you to tilt forwards and breathe in. And through your exhale, lean forwards any amount until you feel your inner thighs. Close your eyes. You can be bracing on your hands. You can rest your head if it's low. You can have your left foot, left hand on the sole of your right foot if that feels nice. And just stretching the chest gently forwards and out without rounding too much. And gradually you'll start to rise. You'll slide your right foot across to the inside of your left leg, and you might need to adjust your blanket position a little bit to make this comfortable if you're using it. Just sitting on the very edge to help you tilt and start to lean out over your left leg. The target area switching now to the back of your calf or hamstring, maybe both. Adjust until you feel just that moderate sensation. It can be tempting to creep into very deep expressions through the course of a few minutes, and intentionally stay at just that sweet spot. And start to rise, please. Take a breath in as you do. And pull the left foot in. You can change your position to lying down, and you're welcome to put your blanket under your head if you like to, or just slide it off your mat if you want to lie fully flat. And to make our way down to lying on your back. Make yourself comfy. And we'll build up to any amount of cat holding its tail next. So before we do, just let your low back relax. Let your shoulders relax and take a breath. Then we'll stretch your left leg out fully straight. Move your hips to the right a little bit. And pick up your right foot and guide it across to the left side of your mat. And it doesn't have to reach the floor, it can hover. Stretch your right arm off the right side for right now. So you could stay like this if you like. Or I'll give you some options for cat holding its tail. So to add a quad stretch to this, you'll bend your left leg, that's the one that's straight, to the end of your mat. You're going to bend that knee and bring a right hand to hold your foot, gently pulling the knee slightly to the right side of the mat and foot gently towards your bum. We'll start out here. If that feels too intense for the quad, you can always re-straighten your left leg. And I know I have to shuffle around a lot in the shoulders and figure out the hand position and hold of a foot. That means that I can relax. Sometimes, like I've done today, spinning the palm up to face the ceiling, just holding over the top of the toes. Feels more natural from my right shoulder. Relax through the outside of your left hip as you're here. Keep softening your shoulders. And you have a choice to keep a hold of the left foot as we make the next movement, or you could stretch the left leg out straight. And so you can explore what it would feel like to hold on to the right foot with your left hand. Now maybe you keep your knee bent, and that feels really interesting. Or you could perhaps explore straightening that right leg out, or almost straight. It's okay to keep a bit of a bend. And so that then, not only have you got your quad stretch in your left leg, you start to have an IT band stretch in your right one. It's really easy for this pose to get very intense very quickly, so maintain your yin mindset, please, yogi. If any part of this feels like too much, you can release it back to a more comfortable expression of twist. And again, relax the left leg. Relax around the ribs. You can start to release bit by bit. So if you have a hold of your right foot, bend your knee, bring that back in. If you have a hold of your left foot, start to straighten that out. And we'll come all the way back onto our backs. And let's do the same thing on the other side. We'll take your right leg fully straight for a start. Move your hips to the left and guide your left knee to the right. And you could hold here, this is good. Or if you wish, you can bend your right knee and reach for your right foot with your left hand. Your right hand rests on the outside of the left knee. Just make sure that you don't have too much tension. You're not holding yourself up too much anywhere in particular. And it does take, for me at least, several rounds of breath to get the shoulders just right, the hand position just right. And do your best to relax, especially through the outside of your right leg. Observe where tension keeps creeping into your body. And remember, you can stay exactly as you are. You could even dial out by straightening your right leg out again, or you can come into the addition of the IT band stretch by holding on right hand to left foot, and maybe that's how you hold with your knees bent. Perhaps that left leg moves towards straight. And there may be a fair amount of shuffling required again, and settling so that you can become still in the pose. Consciously softening what can be softened in the legs, around the hips, and around your ribs. And carefully unbind yourself from your cat holding its tail pose, left leg pulling in, right leg re-straightening, moving your hips back to center. Finding the middle of your mat, now stretching out for Savasana. Make yourself as comfy as you can. You're always welcome to elevate your knees, rest them over your blanket or a bolster. And just a time or two more through the hips and shoulders. And just feel yourself soften towards the back of your body. Relax your whole body. Let yourself rest. to wiggle your fingers and toes. And if you in fact would like to stay longer here in Savasana, please feel free to. And if you're ready to continue with your day or your evening, take a deep breath in and stretch out through your hands and through your feet. When you exhale, bring your knees up towards you. Hug them both in. Roll onto the side. And come up to a comfortable seat. Rest your hands together. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today. And let's breathe in and out. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. To keep up to date with new Paradigm Yoga videos, please remember to subscribe. Thank you.